Hi, I'm Sarah Superstar, and this is the start of the Gothic mansion interior. Before we begin, I'd like to do a little 30-second refresher on the mansion. The mansion is built in a Halloween survival Let's Play series that I have with my friend. The mansion was built with no purpose besides holding wardens, so it's basically just a dollhouse for my wardens, and I guess that's it actually for a refresher. The interior is going to be cut into a 3-part series. This first video is going to have the framework for each room and the spiral staircase. The second video will be the first floor, and the third video will be the second floor. And one more quick thing before we start, I would like to answer a question from the tutorial video about the windows. These are the main windows that are used on most of the mansion. It's a little easier to see now. I have moved the sun so it actually faces the front of it. I was asked to go into a little bit more detail, so I'm just going to strip it all down and put it back up really quickly. Don't mind what's behind me. We'll be building that later in the episode. First off, I have changed all the frog lights used in the windows to soul lanterns. The shaders I'm using make them glow blue, and before they were glowing purple, and I didn't want purple. So it's a sculk block placed behind the lantern, smooth basalt placed on the side of the sculk block, deep slate cobblestone wall placed in front of the basalt. Sometimes I used sculk vein on top of the sculk block, sometimes, not all the time, carpet on top of the lanterns, tile stairs around the top and the bottom of the window. Very descriptive, I know. Black stained glass. And the inside you can make with whatever you'd like to use. I am using candles, and this is a warped trapdoor. WC Builds makes their warped trapdoors, their birch trapdoors, and I believe the iron door looks like smooth quartz. So they make them all flat, which I think looks really pretty. So that was a quick little run through of the window. I hope that was helpful for anyone who needed it. And now we'll finally move on to the inside. The first thing I did was create a flat surface so I could try to visualize how I'm going to frame out these rooms, how I'm going to section them out. Luckily, the mansion kind of already does it for me. It already has the 2 sections on the sides and the one in the middle, so I'm going to follow those lines pretty closely. Since this building is a very narrow build, I have changed the front door a little bit. I'm removing all of the sculk block and making the glass flush with the polished deep slate. And I'm still going to be putting the sculk veins and the glow lichen in its original spots, the glow lichen on either side, the sculk vein in the middle. And that's the door. We're going to leave it alone until episode 3 when we make it a redstone door. Scooting over to the floor, we have 11 blocks on either side of the front door and 9 going down the sides. It's a really simple diamond design in each section of the floor. I'm going to do 3. I'll list the blocks that I'm using on the screen because it's a lot easier to follow visually than it is to hear me try to describe everything. But I'll pop back in when the floor is finished. While the floor continues on in the background, I thought I'd share a little bit of my vision for this mansion. I really wanted to keep it Gothic. I feel like Minecraft blocks can lean really heavily into medieval, and I wanted to stray pretty far from medieval. I didn't want this mansion to feel like a castle either. And with all the Minecraft blocks available, it's really easy to slip into that. So anytime I started to go in that direction, I'd rip it all down and start over. All of the Gothic mansions I saw were very intricate and very detailed, so I really tried to put that in here as much as possible. I'm hoping it's going to come across as like a classy Gothic mansion interior and not overwhelming. I also wanted to stay pretty far away from color. I really tried to just use a lot of grays and blacks, but some color did pop up here and there. Back to building. This is the finished floor. It's very detailed, very patterned, very textured. It's what I want in this mansion. Moving on to the next part of the build. I mentioned at the beginning that we're going to be doing the framework before we get into one of the rooms. So I need to figure out where the second story is going to begin, how much room I have in between the first and second story, where I could put a floor, where I could put a ceiling. So the easiest place to start is with the balcony that's in the middle of this building, and that's helping me decide where my second floor is going to start. So I would like a little bit of a walk down, just one little stair, then using a Deepslate Bricks slab, I'm going down one block, but the top half of the block, and I'm creating an 11 by 9 square outline. I'm not going to fill it in because I don't know what I want the ceiling of the first floor to look like, and I don't know what I want the floor of the second floor to look like. So we're going to leave it empty for now. This is just framework to help me know how much room I have to actually build in here. We're going to skip a block and do the same square outline on the left and right side. And then in the space that we skipped, I'm putting a deep slate chiseled block. Hopping back down to the first floor, we're going to put in some arches that are going to help distinguish each room. It's going to be an open concept floor since the build is narrow. We don't want to close it off too much to make it feel tight. So the arches are going to go directly under the chiseled block. So that's a nice area for you to know where to line up these blocks. The pillars start out 8 blocks high, and on the 6th block, you're going to wrap upside down stairs around it so it becomes a pillar. I forgot about these gray blocks. You can take them down, they're not needed. The arch consists of upside down stairs, full blocks, more upside down stairs, and a half slab. And it's one of those things that I think is way easier to watch and follow than listen to me describe it. This is the basic arch that we're going to be using. We're going to do the same exact arch on the other side under the other chiseled deep slate blocks. There we go. Those are our main arches downstairs. They are far from completed, but that is the start of them. Then back upstairs, just for one quick column, again over the chiseled block, go 8 blocks up. Do it on both sides. That's all of our framework. Now all of our rooms are prepped and ready so we could start decorating them. The first room that we're going to be starting with is not actually a room. We're going to be making a spiral staircase that takes us from the first floor to the second floor, then to a tiny little mini attic. To start, I'm going to strip down all of this gray concrete. I'm going to take down the outline on the second floor as well, so it leaves us bare with these windows, which the shader makes the light come through so nicely. It looks so pretty. I'm kind of sad that I didn't have any actual windows, but this is a dollhouse for a warden and they don't need light. They don't seem to like light based on where they actually live. The sculpt block that I moved was flush with the basalt, but with the way I want to decorate the spiral staircase, I needed that 1 block of extra room. So I took it down and pushed it back 1. Sometimes you build the outside and you have to recorrect when you're building the inside, and that's what happened here. It's just one little thing. Where the sculpt block was, we are now replacing it with an amethyst block. Now we're going diagonally with crying obsidian. We're going to put it on both sides of this amethyst. Everything I'm going to be placing for the next couple minutes starts all the way from the ground and goes all the way to the top of the ceiling until you can't place any more blocks. Right now I'm just showing you where they're going to be placed. This is going to be the wall of the spiral staircase. Replicating that same thing on the left side. I'm going to take this pillar down. This is where the pillar is supposed to be, but I'm going to take it down so the walls are actually easier to see being built. From here, I'm just filling it all in, just bringing it all the way to the top. Each one is going to stop a little different because it's hitting the roof that's angled, but it's fine. Just bring it all the way to the top till you can. Stepping back to get a full view, this is what your spiral staircase should look like if you are following this tutorial. Next, we're going to be placing black stained glass. I don't know if I have addiction to black stained glass right now because I have been using it a lot in all of my builds, but the black stained glass will go right in front of all of the amethyst blocks. So on the side, the amethyst blocks, and the one in the middle. Don't put it in front of the crying obsidian. We are using the crying obsidian as a form of light. I actually don't know if that works without shaders though, but luckily for me, it's That's my build. I'm using shaders. Again, we're taking the glass all the way to the top, following along with the amethyst. You could, if you'd like, if you didn't want to use black stained glass, you could use purple stained glass, which looked really pretty. But since I am trying to keep it more gothic, I am using darker colors. And I did want the purple to be a little less purple. We can put the polished basalt pillar back in. It's going to go one block behind the center of the diamond. You're also putting the polished basalt right next to the last amethyst on the edge. Behind these deep slate brick pillars, we're putting a Blackstone brick wall next to it. And next to that, we're putting a smooth basalt. And those also are going all the way up to the ceiling. That's the walls of our spiral staircase. Everything's done. It's all enclosed nicely. We're going to start on the stairs now. And I'm going to stay quiet during this part because I just don't think I'll be able to explain it very well. The only thing I will say is that the stairs go up half a block at a time. Also, the camera is positioned inside the middle pillar, which is what the stairs are being wrapped around. The pillar is the center of the stairs. It was just the best place to place the camera so you could actually see the stairs going in. The stairs mainly follow a pattern of 3 wide, but right here in the front of the staircase, we're only going 2 because I don't want the stairs to stick out into the other room. This is where I'm stopping the stairs. The rest of this is going to be flat here. And this is the space where I'm going to put a teensy tiny little storage attic. I'll decorate this room at the end, but I'm going to continue on with finishing decorating the actual staircase. To add a little bit more light to the staircase, because once the torches come down, it does get pretty dark, I'm adding the amethyst clusters, and sometimes I'm adding some glow lichen just to brighten the backs. So that's going to go on each layer. I'm also doing one in the front as well, so when you're looking at the staircase, you can see the amethyst crystals. Now I'm going to start adding like a faux railing along the stairs, and it's going to be using polished deep slate slabs and polished deep slate stairs. And you'll be doing this for all the levels of the staircase except for the one that leads to the second floor, but I'll show you that right after this. That's a mini railing, so we'll go do it on the next level. Second story will be a little different because we want this stairs to lead us to the second landing. So we're going to keep using our Blackstone. We're going to bring it forward just the 3 blocks on the side, and then these are upside down stairs, and you're going to bring it all the way across the landing. And now you can walk to your second floor from the stairs. For the railing, slightly different, just slightly, just stairs and 1 slab. That's the only floor that has a different railing. The rest of them will be the same as the first 2. We're going to continue with a tiny little rail down here and adding some chiseled blocks for future armor stand guys. In my creative testing world, I was a little bit stuck on what to do under the stairs, so I had my friend Sarah come on and critique some of the stuff that I had already built and like what she would add or change, just like little things. And she said, why don't you make it look like it's going down into a basement? And I was like, oh, that's a genius idea. Let's do it. Also with these armor stands, I just had the one guy in the middle in netherite. She was like, maybe you should add some on the side, fill it in a little bit more. And then she put amethyst trim on them. I didn't even know you could put amethyst trim on armor. Thanks, friend. There's a spot here when you're inside the spiral staircase at the top of the arch that just feels really empty when you're here. So we're gonna fill it in, decorate it so it doesn't feel like it's missing something. We're just gonna use Blackstone bricks, more amethyst clusters, and then we're also using observers. Not this direction. Nope. Okay. I want the arrow to be facing down, and then I'm just gonna put a Blackstone button on top of it. Do the same on the other side, and that's done. It is going to show on this front side when you look up at the top of the arch, but it will be covered in the next video. I'm going to put little feet, I don't know what it's actually called. I'm going to put little feet around the pillars. On this side here though, on the right side, don't add the second one. That will just get in the way of our redstone door later. Then on top of the stairs that are pointing in towards each other, we're putting a wall, and then we're putting 3 iron bars. My iron bars are black. I am using a WBC Builds texture pack, and they turn their iron bars black. I'm doing a little bit of a correction here, only on the second floor though. On the second floor, I am adding the little feet on both sides of the pillars, but since one of the feet was in the way of the Blackstone wall, I'm taking down the Blackstone wall and I'm changing it to a full Blackstone brick block and just placing it back 1. I'm adding the same wall on top of the stairs that are facing in and the 3 iron bars on top. For the last part of the spiral staircase, we're finally getting to the little mini attic, and honestly it's just a bunch of some useful things, some unuseful things. It's just a throw-all, catch-all attic. I'm gonna speed build through this. I'm going to fast forward it pretty much because it is just me placing a bunch of stuff randomly to make it look like a pile of stuff. I will hop in to say that this painting of the villagers is the cutest painting I have ever seen. I think that the paintings, all the new paintings are, in my opinion, it's my favorite thing they added to Minecraft so far. It was my favorite part of the update. I am obsessed with all the new paintings. This is the finished attic. I think that's enough stuff inside of it. So this is my warden storage. This is the end of the video. We have finished the spiral staircase. It is about 98% done. It is still not finished. It will be finished once the other rooms are finished and the ceilings and some faux crown molding go up. I'll be releasing the full material list with this video, and then of course I'll add it to each video as well. And that'll give whoever's following this tutorial enough time to gather your material if you're doing it in survival, and at least start on some rooms. And by the time you finish the room, hopefully another video will come out. And always, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe especially if you don't want to miss out on these next 2 interior videos coming out. All right, see you later.